Hi, welcome to another video on my Arduino Yun with some electronics. Last time I managed to get both access to the serial terminal, and I managed to get the serial monitor open, and if I do that now, it immediately asks me for a password, and then serial monitor does open, and it's waiting for the first output. But the point is that with this output it shows immediately what is going wrong. Well, more precisely, that something is going wrong, because the problem is now that while everything is supposedly the same, the console apparently is not available, and that is rather weird. So I probably should recode everything, which should be not necessary, because this is how you test things. Let me walk through the code again. In the setup I start the bridge and I start the console, then I wait for a connection, and then I say okay, apparently the console is ready, so connect it to the console, which is exactly what you see here. However, if console available is smaller than 0, you say console is not available. And what do we see here? Console is not available. So it is connected but is not available. Quite odd, if you ask me. So here I say okay, if not console connected. This is not really logical. So I want to take this part out, and I comment it, and as you see on the double slash, this is C, although it is a subset of C, but which is used for Arduino. Then let's go here, and if console is available larger than 0, well, that is that is a problem, because it says it is not available. So what is going on here exactly? It says console available. Well, it is not available, but if console connected. Is it connected? According to here, it is connected. So why would it not be available? That is something very strange. On the other hand, last time I received on the sensor that it was constantly -1. Whatever I did, I received -1. So that is indeed suggestion that something is wrong, something is not being received. So when I press the switch now, and unfortunately I can't show you on the screencast, and I don't have an in-screen monitor, but when I press the switch, the LED on the breadboard is shining brightly. That is one thing. The other thing is that last time also it turns out that the onboard LED, which is the 13, is not burning anymore for some time. So I need to analyze what's wrong with both the connection and my algorithm. Another look at an example shows that it does not have the available check here in the setup, but rather starts with an available larger than 0 in the loop. So what I am going to do is a little bit different. I remove this and I put it here. And that way it stays in the loop, it connects here once, and then stays in the loop for if console is available or not. And then I'm very curious what will happen, because now it will check constantly what is going on, if I'm right. So with that I'm going to upload, and it probably will ask for my password. It does not this time because I already have given my password. By connecting to the serial monitor. Done uploading. Very well. And it says continuously console not available, which is not good. And the terminal says alright, I have closed you, giving in once again the password, and it will show exactly the same, so which is not surprising, but anyway, this is not what I intend to see, what I expect to see. So how can it be that it is connected apparently, but not available? Point is also that this shows very clearly that the connection is there. So what is making the connection anyway, or the console, or in this case the it is connected but not available? Good question, time to find more. Despite some searching and researching, I don't come any closer to the answer why console available stays smaller or equal to 0. So what I've done now is commenting out anything that has to do with console available, and then I keep this part. So if console is connected and reading a console, etc, etc. If you remember from the last time, connection sensor is declared as being an integer. Now that may be a little bit contradictory considered to the examples that I've been reading, like here, because they say, okay, everything in here is a character. So what will happen if I say, okay, this is not. Now let me first do this, upload, show what happens, which also happened earlier. And that is that it constantly shows connected, and then connected sensor is -1. Well, that is more or less stating the obvious right now. So what I am going to do now is say I make it a character, not initialized, and then I wonder what the result will be. If it is a character, it may be a very different outcome than from -1. Now, let's see once again. Completely empty. Did not really expect that to happen, but when I press the switch now, there's absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing coming out. So this means there is really nothing to read, which gives a question: how is the connection established anyway? This is really not making sense to me. Now, by searching further on the Arduino Yun forum, I come across a rather interesting suggestion, which I didn't think of before, which put the whole thing in a different light. If it looks for a character, you don't think of a switch, but rather to keyboard input. So it is suggested that you don't get anything read unless you put a character input. So what I'm going to do is remove the commands and test at or test for actual input from the keyboard. So now I have to remove this one as well and see whatever happens then. So uploading the more or less old program again. And then I am using this terminal, which is still operational. So first serial monitor, which will not give anything else. Our console not available, yes. Then C, and that is something quite different. Very different indeed. See. So this works clearly. Console is available and it is reading. It's reading the keyboard input. So when I go here, It is very clear this is the solution to the point where I say okay, it works, but it is not a solution that I want, because I want to read the input that comes back from the switch. I am pressing a switch, I get high or low value from that. Then I want to see a 1 or a 0 in here, and that is something very different from a character. Now a 1 is of course a character as well, so I guess I have to make an adjustment in my code to that. Apart from that, there's also the point of the onboard LED going high and going low, so let me check on that one as well. See, not available anymore, and as soon as I press here I am getting values. And here with this you can see that digits are numbers are also characters. However, despite this, the LED is not going high, and that is logical because I say if sensor value is 1. Now sensor value is an integer, and it tests only for characters. Now this is something different. I'm going to change sensor value to character, and character 1 and character 0. Now that needs a change here and a change there, and then I want to see if that works. But it's still not an integer, which is what I want. So that's going to be a change. One thing that I want to do is to read the sensor value, because this is from the switch. However, what I want to do first is to change this into con value, con sensor actually. So I have to read sensor and then con sensor, since this is from the keyboard, and the same thing from here. So the only keys I have to strike, I have to hit, are the 0 and the 1. And this is of course to be 0. So let's see how this works out, and then I'll have to look at the red LED on the Yun, of course, and then I could try to show you that it works, but first I have to sure that it does work. So now it is going. Let me hit this one again. Okay, there you go. So and no matter what I try right now, Alright, let's go to the serial monitor, because I can kind of stop it from doing something. Alright, it is going very, very fast, so I disable auto scroll. And yes, okay, enter and 0. Once again, here you see, oh, it doesn't show, yeah, it did show here, 0. So it does come along, but what I did not see yet is the red LED showing up. So, and the red LED is showing when con sensor is 1, so let me focus on that one again. Is it actually showing 1? That's a very good one. Well, not that I can see. Yes, there's 1. Here it shows 1. So it is signaling it, but if you look here, there's a delay for 1 second. And that's not what I'm looking at. Not at all. Trying and trying, but I don't see a hold. Okay, so that is not working yet. Question is how to do it then, because if I can't do this, the real switch input is not going to work either. Oops. And the solution was actually as simple as can be. What I was doing here was comparing a character with an integer. Can't do that. You can only compare characters. So with both the 1 and the 0 here, 1, 0 and 1, in single quotes, you compare character. This is a character and now this is a character as well. And that does work. So now when I say okay 0, it doesn't do anything on the board, but as you can see there's a clear delay of 5 seconds with the 0, and I press 1 and it has as a result that the red LED on board is burning. And that is exactly what I wanted to do. So it burns, and let me look for the other values as well, because I have a pin on 4 and a pin of on 3. So before I show you, let me see if everything works the way I expect it to be. And that does not work, curiously enough. the LED on 0 does work, but only one LED on 1. Okay, so time to show on camera. So what I will show you is that here is the red LED, here is the LED from here, this is another control LED, and this is the LED connected to a switch. Well, this one works no matter what, but this one, and this one is controlled by the input. So this is what happens when I press character 0 on keyboard. And 1. Again 1. And you notice here for 1 second the red LED. Once again. And then pressing 0. And you see here this LED burning. This one, for some reason, doesn't do anything. Maybe now. No. Pressing 1 and it doesn't do anything either. So I'll have to check this LED, but at least that kind of works. But it's not as I like yet fully, because everything will have to do with this switch and not this LED. Well, this is an LED that checks that contact is actually made, but I want it to be done with this instead of the keyboard. And that will be for next time. So for now, thank you for watching. What changed this time was understanding how the console actually works from the keyboard, and that availability is a keystroke. Then the algorithm works, being it not from the switch but from keyboard, and it needs clearly an LED change here, and that's it. Thank you for watching. Again, if you like this video, please allow advertisements to run in between the segments. If you don't want that, please see my website and my which is listed under this video. On my website is PayPal if you use that for a very small donation, for any donation actually, and this is certainly to be continued. Bye bye.